We're joined by former White House Deputy Chief of Staff Karl Rove. Welcome, Karl. Good to see you. I sat beside you and Speaker McCarthy in the room the night Donald Trump won. If I'd asked you that night what the mandate for the president was, what he was receiving, what would you have said?
Secure the border, stop inflation, get rid of this DEI foolishness, make America strong and respected again on the world stage, and rebuild our military.
All right, and if you were to give a progress report, I'm not into grades, but a progress report, I think sometimes people read a mandate too broadly. They think if I'm elected, I'm empowered to do whatever the heck I want. I don't remember any talk about Canada or Greenland or the Pope or deporting U.S. citizens the night he was elected.
Yeah, no, not at all. Look, his great success has been border security. I live in a border state. The difference between what was happening under Joe Biden on the southwestern border of the United States and what's happening under President Trump is night and day. What gets me is the president has yet to visit the border. If I were him, I'd be down here drawing attention to it because it was one of the big reasons why the American people elected him. And I think there's also been great success on rebuilding our military. For the first time in a number of years, enlistments are up. I think it's a sign of young people saying, you know what, I want to be in our military and serve our country, and I'm going to be judged on my merit, and it's going to be tough, and it's going to be challenging, and there's going to be no easy days, and I want that. It's one of the reasons why the Marines have consistently upheld their recruitment over the last several years, is because people knew the Marines were going to be tough. So on those two things, he's having success. The others, it's sort of incomplete. We're inflation. The president is, saying gas is $1.90. I just filled up my tank. It ain't $1.90, and we do not have have inflation tapped down to 2%. And we run the risk of having a jump up at least in a one-time way if these tariffs are put in place. And there's a lot of concern about the economy. The president's ratings on the handling of the economy, and if tariffs are in the 30s, and his overall approval now is in the mid to low 40s, and that's not a good place to be 100 days in. Plenty of time to turn that around, but he's got to be focused on those two things I think that people wanted, which was a strong and prosperous economy and inflation being wiped out.
All right, Karl, I am not much of a pollster at all and a lousy political advisor, but if the president were to call me, I would say, I want you to address the nation from the Oval Office on the issue of tariffs. No media, no questions. Explain to them exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and why perhaps a little bit of short-term pain is going to be worth it. Why not do that? Why not just go to the Oval Office and speak directly to the American people?
Yeah, I wish he'd done it at the beginning of this process. I think he may be at a point where the American people say, well, great, now you tell us. But it would be better. It would be better to give a formal address to the country than to make these offhand comments. I thought it was really problematic when he said, "Well, you know what? The kids, those little girls at Christmas, they don't need $30. They can do it too. And if they have to pay a couple more bucks for them, okay." Well, it sounds like Mr. Scrooge, and the ordinary American is like, "Wait a minute! I thought you were on my side. I didn't think you were on the side of saying I need to do with less." You got plenty of money. I got to make mine stretch as far as I can. I think right now, almost more important than a White House address, is to begin to show some progress. Get a couple of trade agreements, as you know, serving in Congress. They are tough things to get done, and they're big, thick bills. But at least the president could be in a position where he says, look, we've reached an agreement with fill in the blank, India or Japan or North Korea or South Korea, and here's what we've agreed to. We've agreed that our tariffs on each other's goods and services is going to be 0 or 5%, and we're going to address the problem of, in the case of Japan, of selling U.S. beef and blah, blah, blah. But give us a sense that we are on a path to getting these complex trade agreements done on the basis of reciprocity, of you treating America fairly and we'll treat you fairly. I think that, frankly, that's going to be the key on tariffs more than maybe even more than a presidential address from the Oval.
All right, before I let you go, he has essentially taken border security and made it a non-issue. I mean, the border